Hello, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I gotta turn down those sim sounds there. Good to see everybody. We are back, a rare sighting indeed. It's X-Plane 12. Man, it's been, what, maybe a month since we've been in the sim. I think last time we flew X-Plane, we were in the toliss A321, I believe, doing the COSP sound pack. Today, things are a little bit different. For the long-time viewers and followers of the channel, you may have found this channel for streams kind of like what we got coming at you today, where we take things a little bit more seriously. This stream, while it may be entertaining for you, and hopefully you will enjoy it, maybe you get something out of it, this stream, believe it or not, is actually to help me prepare myself to get back into the saddle for recurrent training. For those of you that are aware, I was actually dequalified this month because of a just kind of the way things lined up, so I got the month off, but I have to go into training now for the coming up on Friday, and I haven't touched an airplane in a little over 4 weeks. So we're going to use the sim as a tool, a training tool. We're going to use real-world training sets, and we're going to go through an event set today. What an event set is, it's basically a flight that you'd operate normally, A to B, with a bunch of little things thrown at you. And I kind of gave the chat the rundown. I'll give you guys a rundown right now real quick. We're basically going to have an APU fail, a GPU fail, leading us into a new GPU start, cross-bleed starts. Then we're going to have a couple of failures in flight that are going to lead to a diversion. That'll lead us to a couple other non-normals, an ILS approach, capturing the glide slope from above. This will then lead us into an intermediate go-around, and then take it back around for an RNAV approach. So it's going to be a loaded stream. I'm not going to try. I'm going to go buy the book. We're going to take our time. We're going to go slow it down. I do ask that you try to either chat amongst yourselves during high workload times for me, or just hold your questions until I'm a little bit in a less of a workload scenario. But I know for the X-Plane fans out there, y'all have been waiting for another X-Plane stream. Well, here it is. The lovely X-Plane graphics were X-Plane 12, fully updated. toliss 319 looking good, though. I had to rep the Spiritual Wings grayscale livery. This livery is no longer existent. When these birds were flying around, I always loved seeing the Spirit gray airplanes. I thought this livery was really cool. It's kind of unique, kind of the carbon fiber thing going on. So when we were in the 319, I figured what an opportunity to capitalize on it and fire up this livery. So we got the Spiritual Wings. We've got, not GSX, we've got whatever this ground service thing is, loading up the bags, and we're going to get started top to bottom. Title is wrong, should have been titled Back to FSX. Christy, you know, I would have tiled it Back to FSX, but the graphics are actually better in FSX. So, ooh, can I get some shots fired emoji? Such fire. The sounds are a bit low, Dougal. It's probably because my mic needs a rotation. Stand by. How about now, Dougal? Rotate the mic around there, get her all straightened out. That hopefully is a little bit better. If it's still, let me double check, make sure nothing else changed. It might just be because X-Plane might just be a louder volume, but we'll go here. Extremely expensive because of Spirit being too cheap for coloring too. Lauren, well, you know the story, right? I told you the story about how this livery came about, right? For those that don't know, the Spirit Airlines used to have this exact paint scheme, but it was a blue. So what you see here in black and gray was like a dark blue fade to light blue, and then everything else was white. Well, Spirit being cheap, when they sent that livery to the painters for their Airbus, they printed it out in grayscale. There was no color. So in the grayscale format, it's like, wow, you want to paint the whole airplane this light metallic green here, or gray with the black fade, and it ended up being one of the most expensive, most high-quality paints that you could buy, and that's what the fleet was painted with. So that's how this livery was born. You know, step over a buck to save a dime, the good old adage goes. The Mad Dogs had the blue. Yeah, the Mad Dogs had the blue as well. So that was supposed to be going on to the Airbus, but yeah. That's what happens when you, like I said, step over a dollar to save a dime. Whole automation, well, bros. What is it, bros? What does that mean? Thrust set. Did you add the Carta mod? No, I did not. I haven't. Like I said, this sim to me now is it's making progress with the clouds and everything. It's making progress, getting a little bit better visually. But as it stands right now, this sim to me It's a training tool, so I'm going to spend no time downloading ortho. I'm going to spend no time or money downloading sceneries, and I'm not going to spend time tinkering. And, you know, honestly, we talked about it before. Let me get to an engine view up here. Toliss has done a great job in updating the engines, especially on the 321. I think this one looks probably, I think this might be an old livery too. This delivery is a little meh on this one. But like when we flew the 321, their engines look pretty darn good. And these engines still look, I mean, look at that. That actually looks pretty good right there. So yeah, it's not Carta level of details, but I don't have the time nor the patience to tinker with X-Plane files anymore. Like I said, this is now a training tool. And for all those who wondered, well, how does it fly? What's the flight model? What's better, X-Plane or Microsoft? Because I'm going to get that question 500 times in the stream. I'm just going to say this. My one test flight to make sure my everything was still bound up properly when I rotated the aircraft, breath of fresh air. I will say that. There is no hiding it. Hand flying in X-Plane 12, breath of fresh air. Now, whether it's more accurate or less accurate, meh, we can go down rabbit holes for a later day. But let's get into this here right now. There's a thing as too much cost cutting, and a feller ought to be aware of it. That is very true, Lauren. Very, very true. No Carta engines, I'm out. Christy! No, you must stay around. You must. You must. What has a better flight model? Ace Combat or Infinite Flight? Definitely Infinite Flight, man. Definitely Infinite Flight. All right. Okay, so first things first. This isn't a full CHECKRIDE prep stream, which we will do at the end of the week. We're going to tie it all together at the end of the week. But as we step into the cockpit, we want to make sure our aircraft documents, all that good stuff is on board, right? From there, let's go ahead and start with an old school flow, an originating flow. So we're going to go ahead, landing gear lever is down, engine masters are off. That's in the auto position. Off, off, PWS, off and auto. Make sure the flat position agrees. In the up position it is. The spoiler lever is retracted. Up to the overhead, 25.6 volts minimum. We have that. Let's go ahead and power battery 1 and then battery 2. This is the KOSP sound pack. And hold on, I need to go to ground handling here. And we're going to get rid of some of these trucks because they're a little bit loud. I don't need the stairways. We'll get rid of you, get rid of you, get rid of the GPU. I don't need you. Get rid of the ambulance. I don't need you. And I guess that's fine. We'll leave everything else out there. All right, so with that, we'll go ahead and power on the aircraft and let it come to life. K-Cow, good to see you, man. Welcome to the stream. Hope all is well. I was just texting two of my good friends. K-Cow, would you know well, you're based up in the Northeast, I thought. Do you happen to know a Dakota Meyer? Just curious if you know a Dakota Meyer is an Airbus FO. But good to see you, man. Hope all is well. AJ Funari, good to see you, my friend. Got my little cappuccino coffee today. No frou-frou drinks. I'm going in. We're going hardcore. Just cappuccino, a little bit of vanilla. That's it. Done deal. Delicious. Good to see you, AJ. Excuse me. I'm choking on my cappuccino. Choking on my cappuccino now. I don't remember what the question was. It was flight recorder. Flight recorder. That's the one you need. All right, let's continue with our overhead flow. So now that that's powered up, let's come down here. Let's take a quick look at everything. Let's go engine page. We got our oil quantities. Let's take a look at our pressurization is in auto. Let's take a look at hydraulics. We're all serviced there. We're going to hit the status and recall push buttons. Those are both in normal. Make sure everything is in line over here. When parking brake is set, we're going to go outside and do an exterior walk around. Now, I'll also check the circuit breakers, which we should check the circuit breakers, make sure everything is all out in there. Good, pretty good. All right, now I'm kind of... you know, we've never done one. You guys want to do a semi walk around? I mean, come down here, make sure the pitot tubes are uncovered. Yeah, this is definitely a livery thing, I think. You can see how it looks a little funky. This is your RVSM critical area. You want to make sure this area is completely clear of any dents, dings, or if they are dents and dings, make sure that they are noted in the technical log. Make sure you check up here. Make sure there are no cracks on the windshield wiper. This is your radome. Make sure all latches are closed. Anybody seen that Latam Airbus that went through that severe hail? Ripped the complete radome off? Pretty wild, man. That happened a couple months ago. Walk around, that's an FO's job. Yeah, I know, but believe it or not, I actually still have to do the pictorial in the recurrent. Make sure nothing is covered here. Make sure everything looks good. Now, we looked at the Phoenix before. The Phoenix actually simulates the outflow there. We'll kind of skip over here. We'll come down. Actually, let's come look at our landing gear. These are pretty nicely modeled. So we come down here, and somebody was asking the question the other day, like what landing lights are turned off if you have all the light switches on, but the gear is up. So everything connected to the gear. So the only landing lights that are, or the only lights that are connected to the gear are runway turn-off lights, which are these two little light bulbs right here that are kind of canted out, i.e. turn-off lights, so you can see off to the left and right of the aircraft. And then we have the landing and taxi light. And I'd be lying to you if I told you which one was which. It's whatever the bigger one is the landing light. Or is the takeoff light, excuse me. Taxi light, like the first position. I think this is taxi and I think this is takeoff. I can't remember. I'm not an FO. I haven't walked around a long time. But you just make sure they're not cracked, make sure they work. We'll continue to come on down here. Ooh, the baggage door is closed. How dare they? Let's go ahead and open that up. Let's go ahead and open up, let's open you up. So to open that cargo door, come around down here. There's a little panel for the access door for the electrical, and they can run the yellow electric pump, and that will open that door there. As you come around the side of the airplane here, ooh, right here. This is something that I'm actually going to ask you guys. Anybody remember what this is right here? We talked about it on the, what stream was it? I think it was when we were doing our technical question stream on the long haul on the 7.8. This is actually something that's quite important right here. But these are, in real life, they're three-dimensional. They actually stick off the wing a little bit, and they cover up something. I wonder if anybody remembers in chat what it is. I'll let you guys marinate on that one. Here's your landing extension lights. So right now they're retracted. They're up inside the well, which is good. You take a little peek in here. Make sure the clamshell is not on the strut here. That is the power supply to the fuel pump. Good job, Chaos. Indeed it is. So it is external to the fuel tank, which would make sense. Make sure that there is no pins there. We come down here, check our hydraulics, and then we would check our brake pin indicators, which would be around here somewhere. We got our brake lines, all that good stuff. It's kind of weird moving this camera around. Take a look at our big IAE engine. Gotta love the IAE engine. Make sure it's all closed up, latched up. Take a look at our spinner. Make sure there's no dings and dents on the fan blades. Make sure they're all there. Come down here, make sure all the access doors are closed. And the oil access door, especially if you just received oil, I have seen. Now, granted, it was an Embraer. Well, when I was on the Embraer as an FO, and I did a walk around in Charlotte, and we were ready to go. We were actually semi-late to the airplane. So we came in late, we swapped airplanes, we got to a new airplane. Maintenance had just serviced the aircraft. They were done. They went off to do something else. We were ready to go, ready to push, but while the captain was loading the box, I said, I'm going to do a quick walk around real quick, and we're going to get out of here. I came outside, and on the Embraer, I believe it was on this side, the oil service door, which this may actually be on the IAE, so I can't remember where it is on the IAE right now. The oil service door was open, and there was an empty can of oil, or whatever they used to, like, I think the funnel was still there. But maintenance was done, so they literally just forgot. And they left that open, so that would have been a big-time problem had we have taken off with that. So that's why you always do your walk-around. Never get complacent, never get complacent. This is the fire bottle right here. We'll talk about this as the week goes on and we do some more emergency stuff. But the reason that this is round, anybody remember why this is round? You may think, wow, that's a weird texture. Toliss totally screwed that up. No, this is exactly what it looks like. Anybody remember why? Continuing on a look here, we got our fuel over protection vents. Looks like we're fueling right here, which is good. Everything else looks good. There was definitely a lecture involved, 24 Moop. There was definitely a lecture involved, but like I said, I was an FO at the time, so I just kind of sat back and watched the captain just rip into the maintenance guy, which was well deserved. But, I mean, interesting. Got our static wicks, because square pressure vessels are for dummies. That's right. Yeah, it is a round extinguisher bottle. So the fire extinguisher bottle is round. That's why it has a round access door. Come back here, make sure you still have your static wicks, make sure the flap track fairings are all intact. You got your static wicks. If you're missing static wicks, which are these little doohickeys right here on the end of the fairings and on the wingtip fence out there, you can dispatch with missing static wicks. You just have to see which aircraft you're in, because it will vary from the 19, 20, and 21. And you have to see which aircraft you're in. You have to see how many are missing. And then if it matches, you're like, oh, you're in a 319, we could be missing 4, whatever it is, we're good to go. So that looks good. We continue on the on the round side here, or round side around the aft of the aircraft, we'll come down here. We have the outflow valve right here. So when you control the pressurization, outflow valve manually, or when it's doing its automatic situation right here, this is the door that is moving. Now underneath the tail right here of the aircraft, there is some, this is where you don't walk under here. You only learn once, or you only do it once. But the drains for the lavatory waste are all under here. You can't, they're really not modeled here on this livery. But you would see the doors here, and if someone, so two things: you don't walk under the door for the waste, because that's obvious explanation, right? But the other thing is there is a drain mast here for the for the aft lavatory sink. So when anyone's washing their hands, or there's any water going in the sink, it's going to be coming out of that, which actually kind of looks like this thing right here. A drain mast will come out of that drain mast, and if the wind is blowing, you'll get sprinkled with some nice lavatory water. So it's you may think, oh, this is refreshing. Just don't open your mouth or look up, because someone's washing their hands. And I've seen a lot of things in the sink that are not just soap and water. So use caution. Come around the tail, it's the APU section. This is actually, if you have a tail strike, this is actually where you're going to see it. Most people think, oh, a tail strike will be kind of down here. No, believe it or not, it's right up here on the tail cone. This is where you'll notice the tail strike. Make sure that the APU compartment doors are closed, all latch up, everything looks good. The APU inlet right here, which we'll watch open up when we fire up the APU, this needs to actually be clean, because if you have a lot of oil or grease, eventually starts to work its way back, it can get sucked into the, or not sucked into, it will bleed into the inlet here for the APU, and that can cause a fume event, get fumes in the cabin, and not very nice to anybody. So make sure that's all nice and clean. If it is dirty, you can put it in the technical log, say the aircraft belly wash is required. That is an actual write-up, belly wash required, and then maintenance will come and wash the airplane. And it's not to make it look pretty, it's to prevent fume events. And so you can, see what's happening with your aircraft, make sure there's no other, if it was completely dirty, you could have cracks and all kinds of stuff. We've got the external air and the high pressure air inlet over here. Make sure that's closed up. Make sure all these doors are closed and latched up. You can dispatch if these doors are missing, or if the latches are broken. They'll just remove the whole door. Then you have a performance limitation you got to add on there. But that's all taken care of. That's something we'd hit a wrong side sim for in dispatch, and he would take care of it for us. Make sure your hydraulic lines and the brakes are all looking good. Beautiful. And then it would continue on the left wing, same exact as you did the right wing. So exterior pre-flight is complete. Why would there be oil down the back, Cal Ferris? Just because it can leach out of from anywhere, right? From the landing gear swinging up and down, like hydraulic fluid. I guess I should say hydraulic fluid, not necessarily oil. Hydraulic fluid, or if maintenance is servicing and maybe they spill some oil, and then that kind of leaks around the cowling, and then as you're flying, that oil kind of leaks back, and it kind of it kind of streaks back along the airframe, right, from the wind stream. So it's not necessarily, most likely it's going to be hydraulic fluid from the gear swinging up and down. But maybe you taxi through some oil and it kicks up some oil from the ramp onto the belly, and then that runs to the back. All kinds of nasty stuff. So that's why we just make sure it's clean. Airplane belly rub and cuddle required. Exactly. So while FO's out there doing the walk around, we come back in here, and we're going to get the box loaded up. So let's come down here. Let's go McDo, ATSU. Let's get initialization. Let's go ahead and do a, let's see, Atlanta Center is online, actually. Interesting. So let's go ahead and do flight init. Data link in progress. We'll do that. And then, can we split these? I forget if we can split these. Oh, we can, actually. So I'm actually going to put you on McDo, ATSU. I'm going to put you back over here, initialization. That's us. We're Spiritual Wings, 357. It says alternate of Orlando, but I'm going to put Tampa in there, because that's... We're going to actually put Tampa in there. We're going to put Tampa in there as the alternate instead of Orlando. That's what I wanted to file. Cost index of 75, not 10. We're going up to 370. That looks good. All right, let's see if we can get an ATIS here. We'll go ATC menu. Nope, that's not what I want. McDo, ATSU, AOC, and weather departure ATIS. Will that work? I don't remember. Because we're on VATSIM, it should. Yeah, look at that. 0 for 0, 10 miles, 33 degrees, 3020, departing 26 off the smelt is what we got. So 3020, let's load that in here. And you know what we forgot to do because we were doing the walk around. So while the walk around was happening, Captain comes down, does his flow. So we're going to do our flow, ground control, CVR test. Captain purrs and Captain, let's get the 8 ears into the alignment phase, 1, 2, and 3. That looks good. We got the old 8 ears panel up there. We put strobe into auto. Nav into position 1, it's my leg, auto, arm U. Landing elevation is in auto. Everything else looks good on the overhead. Let's do a quick electrical test while we're at it. We'll pull up the electrical page, come up here, we'll go battery off, battery back on. Less than 60 volts, decreasing within 10 seconds. There we go. I see that's, you guys agree with me there. Perfect. So electrical test is passed. We'll do a fire test 1, fire test 2. FO would have probably already tested the APU. That's done. Continue up the right-hand side, basically looking for no white lights here on the right-hand side. And the PA knob should be out and in middle position. Remember, this is for the CVR recording of the flight attendant announcements. So that's good. Overhead looks fine and dandy. Let's come back down to the box. We're going to be departing off runway 26 left. That's what we're going to plan for. Let's put that in there. We'll see what they give us off the Smelts 3 departure. And we're going out to the wallet transition, correct? Yes, it is. To Z-Plan and the Tiki 3. So we'll insert that. Fort Lauderdale arrival, 10 left. Tiki 3. There's a PDC. We'll take no via. We'll go over transition from Zeppelin. Insert U. Beautiful. There's our PDC. All ready from Atlanta Center, cleared via Smelts 3 wallet, maintain 10,000 feet. We'll throw that in the FCU. 10,000 is set. Expect 370 10 minutes after departure. 3297 is departure, so we'll put 3297 right here. Oh, I love the snappiness of the radios in that. 3297 right there is set, and a squawk code of 6055. So we'll set 6055. We'll put that in the up position. It's in system 1 because I'm flying. Standby is fine. So PDC received and is normal. That looks good. Missed the audio switching. Audio switching wasn't normal, I guarantee you. If it's not in normal right now, chains rocks, you have to Alt F4 and never watch a stream again. Ready? Dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun. What's that say right there? Boom. Audio switching, normal. I think I'm not paying attention. Captain, I'm flying with had a new 1800 hour FO, select flaps 1. Wow, they were at 290 knots instead of the speed brakes in a descent. Cross Lindy at 11, 250 knots. Oh my goodness, Cat Cow. That is spicy. I bet there was a little bit of discussion after that, huh? You know, that's not the first time I've heard of something like that happening. And as we've talked on this channel before about how requirements, let me rephrase that, not requirements, minimums, hiring minimums per company have gone down significantly closer to the FAA required minimums. The experience of pilots has also gone down significantly, and the increase of these little incidents, such as flaps instead of speed brakes happening, it's not the first time I've heard that. I actually heard of a crew not so super recently, but a few months ago. They actually returned to their departure airport after they took off because the airplane would not accelerate or climb. You know why? The landing gear was still down. Literally departed. This is an Airbus. This is mainline carrier. Departed the airport, had an issue, could not accelerate or climb past like 18,000 feet. They elected to return, declare an emergency, and return to the departure. The landing gear was down. This is just what happens. I mean, it's you gotta stay sharp out there. You gotta stay sharp. You cannot get complacent. You gotta stay sharp. You cannot get complacent. All right. Okay, so where are we at? We got our, let's continue plugging away at the box here. Flight plan, that's good. Let's do our RadNav page. Nothing to hard tune out of Atlanta, but we'll put Atlanta here in the prog page. I love the McDo sounds. We'll skip that. Fuel. Let's set this up to reset to current. So that's there, and we should have fuel on board of 14.3. Verify it is 14.3. That is on board. Good. So we'll come back down here, a NIT B page. Oh, we're in a 319. We do have to hit the align on IRS. That is a correct, at least for our 319. Same deal. 14.8, 123.8, 80, 28.5. We have 9 minutes of extra gas, 3,000 to our alternate. So we are dispatching into a SIGMET with Not a lot of extra gas. It is what it is. We got to do it. So we got our fuel on board, though. Let's get our fuel tank pumps on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's all good. We'll turn our seatbelt sign on. We don't need that anymore. Make sure the fuel is balanced. It is. Box is good there. Secondary, let's do a quick initialization. This is real world training, so we're going to go through the steps here, go through the motions. Atlanta, secondary, arrival. All I care about is coming back. If we pop an engine, we'll come right back around. Probably give us 26 left or right, but I want 27 right because it's the longest available runway. If we ball one up, what's the FAA going to ask? Oh, why'd you land on a runway that was 3,000 feet shorter? One thing I'm not going to do is look up the actual MDA. We'll just put a DH of 200 in there. Winds are calm. Temperature was like 33. Oops. 33. Winds are calm. And QNH was 3020. 30.20. That's going in right there. Secondary is done. We did all that. Boom. So we'll leave that here. We'll leave it on the perf data page. And with that started, we got IRS almost into alignment here. We got a top altitude of, what did I say? 10,000. 10,000 is set. So 10 is set. I'm going to reset the flight directors here. We're still not aligned though. Put constraints on. We'll go flight director, flight director. I was late on that alignment. But with that done, matter of fact, let's just keep the flight directors off. Flight directors off. Let's come up here and start the APU, shall we? We're going to go here. And then we're going to wait about 5 seconds or so. Used to be a limitation. You had to wait for the APU flap open message. They've since removed that. I have a tendency to still kind of wait, especially on the old 319s. But that's for the low oil ECAM. But Airbus has since rescinded that suggestion. And they say now if you just wait about 5 seconds, it should be significant for the low oil message to populate. Flap open. Let's fire it up. Let's go outside, take a listen. Remember, COSP sound pack. Delicious. Let's go ahead and get rid of these guys. Back to the chat. Maybe 10K, because like that's why I'm not accelerating past 250. Sometimes there's issue with hardware binding in the sim. Must be talking to someone else. Oh, 6K in the sim. You realize your gear was still down? When you don't have fuel in the middle tank, do you leave the pumps off and put manual for that? No, FUBAR. So great question, because that can lead us into more discussion here. Let me let this fire up. Kiko says, oh, by the way, I got a captain spot in JFK 220. Nice. After I lost a supplemental bid, I got it back in our system bid. And in JFK, I get to keep my bottom bunk at the crash pad. Cacao, where do you commute from? If you don't mind me asking. Do you have a long commute, or do you live up there in the Northeast? But congratulations. Congratulations on the 220 captain slot. That is fantastic. Your 220s don't have HUDs, do they? I don't think they have the... but I'm curious, do you have HUDs on the 220s? Back to the question about the fuel tank pumps. So, no, we put them on. The aircraft will realize, we'll also start the Corona here for 3 minutes. The aircraft knows that there's no fuel in the center tank, so you can see here that they are indicated shut, or that they're not operating. But if you have maybe 50 pounds, 100 pounds, 200 pounds of fuel trapped in that center tank, you may get an error message saying center tank pump low pressure. And what that is, that's really just a nuisance warning, because you're right on the limit of triggering the low pressure, but you don't really have fuel in there, but you still have some fuel in there. In that case, you would come up here and you would mode select manual, probably turn the pump off, depending on what fault you had. But barring any other actual faults, that's really the most common time we mess with this mode select on the pumps here manually, is when you have maybe 300 pounds in that center tank and it's right on the limit from triggering a low pressure recam and not. So that happens a lot in the 319s actually. Get to commute with all my old Shuttle Republic peeps. Easy commute from Columbus. Oh, Cacao, do you know? Okay, well, so Bedford and Sons. Do you know a shot in the dark? Travis Fisher. Travis Fisher, I'm curious. How possible is it the landing gear getting damaged if not retracted? Alberto, it's very possible depending on the speed. That brings up a great question. What are our landing gear limitation speeds? So I got to know these by memory. I think I remember them. Let's go. So to extend the gear, extension 250 knots or 60 Mach. You can lower the landing gear. To retract the landing gear, you must be below 220 knots indicated or 0.54 Mach. If the landing gear has already been extended, maybe you had hot brakes after takeoff, how fast can you go with the gear down? You can go up to 270 knots, 64 Mach, I think. 270? Is that right? 270? I think it's 270 knots. Phone a friend. Yeah, he's a Columbus guy. We were actually in initial at Brickyard together. We're actually good friends. I think he's actually over doing corporate stuff now. All right. Is a 319 the only 320 family member to have tip tanks? No, they are customizable by operator. I've seen 320s without tip tanks. I've seen them with tip tanks. It just kind of depends. As Airbus has updated their fuel system along the line, things happen and they get more advanced. So, all right, we're approaching 3 minutes here. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect from external power. We're going to turn the APU bleed on. We're just about 3 minutes. We'll go ahead and reset that. That looks good, and we are aligned. Let's go FD1, FD2. And we'll send our perf speeds here. Let's go ahead and uplink takeoff data request. And let's run a cockpit preparation checklist, which I need to actually pull out because this would be a good idea to have. I haven't run a checklist in a long time, so. It's been a while since I ran a checklist. All right, there's our takeoff data. Receive takeoff data is what I want. We will flex takeoff today. Flaps 1 will insert that. That's because we're doing real world stuff. All right, cockpit preparation checklist. Maintenance log and tail number on board and check. Gear pins and covers removed. Seatbelts on. ADIRs where nav and fuel. We need 12.5 required, 14.7 on board. Altimeters 3020 set. EFB is checked. Cockpit preparation checklist is complete. All right, so we're sitting here at the gate, ready to go, and guess what happens? Seriously? What happened? We got an APU fail or an APU auto shutdown. I wish I could have APU auto shutdown. That would be cool. So we've got an APU fail at the gate. So luckily the ground power was still attached. We can go ahead and turn off the APU bleed. I'm going to turn off the APU master. We got to wait for the airplane to power back up. So with that done, let me take a quick look. APU EMR shutdown, which would be the most common in this, would be an EMR shutdown. So the EMR shutdown procedure, automatic shutdown of APU for a reason other than a fire. The APU EMR shutdown triggers when the APU shutoff switch on the external power is pushed, or APU fire push button is pushed, or APU fire on the ground is detected. Master switch off. In case of APU auto shutdown, APU restart can be considered. After 3 consecutive APU start attempts, the flight crew must wait 60 minutes before a new start attempt. So let's just say we tried that. We got no juice on the APU. So now we've got a dead APU. We're going to need to do ground power, ground air start. So we'll go ahead and reset everything here. Let's make sure our box is still good. Box is still good. All right. So now we got to do an engine start with ground power. So we got to communicate with the ground crew. We're going to give them a call. Be like, hey, we're going to need to do a ground power and ground air start. Like, copy that, Captain. What engines you want to start? We're going to start number 2 first, away from the jet bridge. We're going to leave the jet bridge attached because we also need electrics from the jet bridge. Okay, copy that, Cap. Let me know when you're ready to start. So now we just added a threat management. We're going across it now, so we talk about it. We're good to go. Our briefings are done. Let's talk about our ground air start now. So let's put out our ground air start and configure. Oh, it's external air. And this is, this is external starting manual engine start with an air start unit. Like this whole, we have our books, we have a completely new software program for all of our manuals, and it's driving me nuts. I've been on the last one for years. It's been great. Now we're on this new one. I'm trying to learn it. All right, before connecting the air start unit, let's go ahead and configure. So I would tell CACO, let's go ahead and configure and run the air start unit checklist. All right, copy. Pack 1 off, pack 2 off. Packs are selected off, prevent any possible contamination of the packs by the air start unit. APU bleed, it is off. Engine bleed 1 off, engine bleed 2 off. Cross bleed open. Air start unit connection request. Cockpit to ground, ground to cockpit, go ahead. Hey, all right, we are ready to receive external air. Copy that, Captain. Here it comes. We're doing high pressure air. Boom. When cleared to start, engine 2 start for any operational reason. Number 1 can be started, but in this case, we're blah, 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 blah. Check accumulator brake pressure prior to engine start. Accumulator brake pressure. We're above the green or in the green. We're good to go. All right. Ramp spiritual wings 357 here at, where are we at? Delta something. Need to do a start on the ramp. Copy that, spiritual wings, you're clear to start. Let us know when ready to taxi, or ready to push. Copy that, here we go, starting engines. All right, so external start, we're going to go engine master to ignition start. Looks like we got a good cart down there. We got 31 PSI, and we're going to go ahead and start number 2 first. Before start checklist, windows, doors, and slides, closed and armed. Beacon is on. Thrust levers are idle. Parking brake is on. Before start check is complete. Turning engine 2, here we go. Must have been an internet hiccup there. Everybody back? Manual restart of the internet. YouTube's APU just blew up. So, you know, it's funny. I was literally just about to click. So what's going to happen in the sim, and I'm not going to do it right now because I don't know how the toliss would handle it. I'd have to do a test. But in the sim, in my real world check, there is a possibility that you get a ground power unit fail during the start. So that'd be during the startup. Let's just quickly go over it. If the ground power had failed, just like the internet there during engine start, we're now going to be completely dark in the cockpit. That is a moment where we have to do a manual engine abort. So then we would bring the start switch to off, and we would try to reestablish communication with the ground crew and then get a new GPU and then start the startup again. We'd have to also take into account our engine starter limitations. So that is good. The Georgia internet, I know, Mr. Martini, it's absolutely terrible. We almost got falked. Benji, good deal. All right, so now we got a good start on number 2. Perfect. After engine 2 is started, disconnection of external power with the external power push button may cause injury, so we got to make sure it's off. So before we do that, I'm come up here, we'll go boom. All right, good. External power, check avail. It is because we just disconnected, so it's a fail. External power disconnection. Cockpit to ground, ground to cockpit, go ahead. Hey, you're good to pull external power and air. We got a good start on number 2. Copy that, Captain. We'll let you know when we're ready. So they're going to pull external air, external power, and the chocks. With that done, let's continue. Nope, electrical power can be removed after the second engine start if we need be, but we're not going to do that. We're going to do a cross-bleed start away from the gate. All right, engine air start with air start unit continued. If air start unit is used to start engine 1, does not apply. If the cross-bleed start procedure is used to start engine 1, air start unit disconnection request. We did. Pack 1 is now going to come online. Pack 2 can now come online. Engine 2 bleed on. Cross-bleed engine start procedure apply. Refer to cross-bleed engine start procedure. So I'm going to pull out my cross-bleed engine start. We're going to do that once we get back off the gate here. Cross-bleed engine start. All right, that checklist is ready. We're going to leave everything configured. The one thing it doesn't tell you to do right away is bring this back to normal. We're going to do that. All right, have you had this scenario in real life? Yes, I have, actually. All right, let's make sure everything else is good. Status engine 1 bleed, that's normal. Clear status. All right, we're ready to push. Let's go ahead and throw up Atlanta Center 3297. That's going there. We'll call them back after push. Cockpit to ground. They need to do, not control G. Shift G. We'll go ahead and pull the jet bridge off, and then we're going to just do a manual pushback. So we'll come down here, We're going to go mechanic, pushback distance. We're just going to go straight back 50 meters. HKK, good to see you. Hey, you're not sure if they work on crossbleed? Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out. Oh, we also need to get rid of all these guys. Ground handling. I'll hide all those. So at the gate, you're going to hear this because we got engine 2. Whoa, 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 whoa. Rolling. There we go. Throttle hold, welcome to Private Pilot. Glad to have you on board. You got that alternate nav, RNAV, AAUP memorized? Know where you're supposed to go? Atlanta, RNAV, AAUP memorized. I don't even know what that is, Lauren. small words, no acronyms. I can't hold any more acronyms in my brain. All right, perfect push, straight back, 50 meters, be a tight turnout. Brakes are set, clear disconnect. And ramp, spiritual wings 357, we need a crossbleed start here on the ramp. Yeah, spiritual wings 357, crossbleed start, approved. Let me know when you're ready to taxi. Copy that. Spiritual wings 357. All right, so now we got to do the crossbleed engine start procedure. The 4-second engine start, APU bleed off, it is off. Engine bleed, supplying engine on, it is on. Engine bleed, receiving engine off, it is off. Cross bleed is open. When cleared to start, clear of obstacles, thrust lever supplying engine, adjust for bleed pressure, maintain a minimum of 30 psi before start initiation and at least 25 psi during the start sequence. This is for IAEs, V2500s. This is not the Pratt & Whitneys or the Leaps. It's different. You can actually do it at idle. Receiving engine start. So here we go. Ignition start to ignition start. And let's go ahead and bump up our N1s. Approximately 30-ish% should get us the juice that we need. Right about 35%. And that is pretty perfect. I don't know if you can tell, but in the real airplane, the way I do it is I go one thrust lever width above this thrust lever, and that's almost perfect every time. And we've got 34 PSI. Let's go ahead and start engine 1 on the crossbleed, and we're going to monitor this one. Matter of fact, we can actually monitor this way. Oh, yeah, Lauren, attention all users page. Yeah. I'd never heard of it called an AAUP. But I just let the FO tell me which runway we're going to depart on. I just be like, hey, you got that RNAV departure page on the company stuff? Yeah, okay, cool. Which runway we're going to get? All right, cool. Delegation of duties, Lauren. Delegation of duties. Throttle hold, exclamation point, welcome for your new perks on the channel. I didn't get to say that, but welcome on board. All right, sounds like we got a good start here. We got the N2. The one way to tell that you're going to hot start is if this EGT starts running away from the N1s, like you see, or I'm sorry, the N2. So you see we're 50%. It's the N2 is higher than EGT. But if this EGT runs away and the N2 was really lagging, you're probably going to get a hot start. We got an avail on number 2. We got air bleed off. Perfect timing. That's how it happens in real life. That's associated. Clear air, clear air. All right, we got a good start on number 1. That's going to come back to normal. Let's continue with the crossbleed start procedure. We'll bring number 2 back to idle. All right. After start, thrust lever supplying engine, idle. Crossbleed, auto. Engine bleed, receiving engine, on. Pack 1 on, pack 2 on. They are both on. After start checklist, accomplish. Crossbleed engine start checklist is complete. So after start, that looks good on the overhead. We're going to arm you. What did we say we were for takeoff? We're flap number uno. Let's go flap 1. Oh, aviation blaze. I think it will be, man. I'm pretty sure it's going to be that. It's going to be high fidelity. Alberto, thank you for the continued support, man. Look at those V1 wings. You're rocking, man. Good to see you, Alberto. Thanks for being a member for so long. All right, we got a good start. After start checklist, and we need to be up 0.4 technically. Let's go ahead and do a little cheater mode here. 1, 2, 3, and 4 is set. All right, after start checklist is complete. Let's give them a call. Atlanta Center 3290. Why are we not on COM 1? Oh, my radio's got reset from the start, right? That Atlanta scenery looks rough. Hey, it looks better than default to Zobo, that's for sure. That's one thing I'll fight anybody on, is X-Plane default scenery is 10 times better than anything as Zobo. Alright, we're lined up here. Atlanta Center, Spirit Wings 357. We're here at the Lima 6 Alley ready taxi, Mike.
357 Atlanta Center, good. Runway 27 right taxi via Lima, Juliet, Mike.
27 right taxi via Lima, Juliet, Mike. Spirit 357. 27 right, Lima, Juliet, Mike. I almost said cactus. Alright, so we have a runway change. This is threat and air management. So FO is going to be heads down. CATCO, I need you to go heads down. And we need to reset cycle the box. Now I'm going to do it like this because we're next level here. We're going to go here, departure 27 right now. We're still going to be on the Smelts 3 wallet transition.
357, just go away to company traffic ramp 6.
Alright, we'll give way to company out of ramp 6, Spirit Lanes 357. Someone's got a hot mic. Alright, so we're continuing here. That's probably going to mess with our takeoff speeds. It did, so we need to go here. We got to go... nope, we need to go back.
Atlanta Center 704, Whiskey Lima, my apologies on that.
So FO is heads down right now. We're taxiing. Let's go out onto the active area now. Lima, Juliet, and Mike.
3015, I do have the field inside. That's 4 Whiskey Lima, thanks. The traffic between you and airport.
Alright, with the runway change also comes a new mini brief if you already did it. So we've got takeoff data received now. We're gonna... Alright, ramp 5. Yeah, we just made a wrong turn here. We're supposed to go right. We're on Lima. You want us to double back?
You made the right turn. You continue east on Lima. Juliet, Mike.
Alright, make the right turn, and then we'll go east on Lima, Juliet, Mike. Oh no, we made a right turn. We did it right. We did it right. I thought we made a wrong turn. We're good. We're good. I'm trying to do 3 different. This is why you'd have. This is a threat and air management. 27 right now. We're going to go ahead and do flex, and we'll insert that. So 40, 40, 42, flaps 1, flex 69. New takeoff speeds are set. Verify 69 is set there on the flex. All right, that looks good. Mini brief. Takeoff runway. It's going to be runway 27 right on the Smelts 3 departure. Gross weight is 138,000 pounds. Fuel on board is 14.5. Speeds 140, 142. Initial altitude 10,000. Standard transition. First fix is RNAV to SLAW. Any questions? No questions. Flight controls. Full up. Full down. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral. There's our traffic. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Auto brakes max. Takeoff config is check. Get you out of the way. Radar PWS is coming on. TARA. We are good to go there. There's our company. We'll follow him out now. Lima, Juliet, and Mike. Good to go. You know what I forgot? Jamie, yes. I wouldn't say from dispatch. They're provided from ACARS through AeroData. So AeroData is a software, or no, AeroData is a company that a lot of airlines use to calculate performance numbers for airliners. So we get all of our stuff from AeroData through ACARS. Alright, so everything is good. Cabin is ready. Let's run a taxi checklist. Taxi checklist, gross weight comparison is complete. Pitch trim is 0.4% CG set. V1, VR, V2, flex. That's going to be 140, 140, 142, flex 69 set. Flaps, config, 1 plus F. Flight controls, checked. ECAM memo, takeoff all green. ECAM status is checked. Seatbelts. ECAM status is checked. PWS is on. TCAS code set. TRA. Cabin crew is advised. Mini brief is complete. Taxi checklist complete. We can go ahead and run the lineup checklist. Takeoff runway. We're going off of runway 27 right now, confirmed. Fuel, 12.5 required, 14.4 on board. Engine mode selector is normal. Leads and packs are set before takeoff check or lineup checklist is complete. Oh my goodness. Marker beacons will be the death of X-Plane 12. I know, after a too bright cockpit yesterday, now we're in one that's too dark. I know, chaos. I cannot arm the spoilers, Russ, for some reason on the toliss. Like, it works if you have a pull upper, but I haven't figured out how to bind it to a push button. That's the only thing I can't get to bind in the toliss with my Throttletek is the arming of the spoilers. I think I need to put a dead zone on the axes, because when I press the spoiler button down, it triggers the axis to move, and if they're armed, it will automatically disarm them. So it's kind of like a fiddle faddle. That's good. I don't know why we don't have, there we go, climb nav is set. I don't know why, that was good. Yeah, I don't know what happened there, Lauren. I think maybe I scrolled this on accident. Yeah, I bet you that's what I did. I probably just mouse wheeled over the heading accidentally. All right, so our checklists are complete. We are good to go. No terrain, weather is on. How many likes are we shooting for today? How many likes can we get here? If you guys hit 250 likes before takeoff, we'll do a Toga thrust with the COSP sound pack in a 319, which is something you've never heard before. So, 250 likes, smash it down. If you want Toga, we will say that there's a wind shear threat where we will then use Toga speeds or Toga thrust. But I need 250 likes. It's up to the chat. Not up to me, it's up to the chat. What was the taxi clearance? Lima Juliet Mike. So probably full length. 27 right, Lima Charlie, out of the way to Spirit 7. Good thing we got a tiller. Hard over. Line up and wait. Clear left. He's rolling out the right-hand side. He's gone. Clear right. This is actually a pretty accurate tree position there. Toliss ground handling is juicy. Oh yeah, baby. Just RNAV slaw 27 right clear for takeoff. Cactus 357 or Spirit Wind 357. All right, RNAV slaw lights are on. Meh. RNAV slaw confirmed. Rip, no togas. So close. All right, here we go. Spool them up 50. Which on the IAEs is about 1.05 EPR. I gotta remember to stop at the flex C10. Here we go. Man, flex, SRS, auto thrust is blue. Wow, that is super lame. That's the lamest flex I've ever had. It's a 78% thrust. Thrust set.
Southwest 537 with AHC at Echo 32, ready for push.
100 knots. Check.
37, mission sir, is going to already taxi at Tampa.
V1. Rotate.
14, character ready.
Oh yeah, so good. Positive rate. Gear up. Navin. Fly with. So much juice on that rotation. Gotta love that sound pack though. I'm forgetting some. So I have noticed some weird turbulence. Some weird turbulence with active sky. I do have active sky running. Climb and maintain, flight level 370. Okay, we're spear wing 357. All right, climb and maintain. We're unrestricted, so we're open climb. All right, there's lever climb. Look for a positive trend. There it is, right into thrust climb, open climb, auto thrust. There was almost no thrust reduction either on that, and that's sad. That's all on you, chat. That's all on you, chat. I blame you. Dom, welcome to the stream, man. Glad to have you on board. Here comes S-speed, flap 0 after takeoff checklist.
298, information. Papa, looking for Lunar, taking Charlotte. 298, good line defender, left, good line for PDC, blind teeth, and then right to the front. To the right.
I do hear something ticking. I love how the engines, I mean, they're loud at 319, man. Right up front. So yeah, I think there's a new turbulence model, or they've done some stuff with turbulence, and I don't know if I love it. You see that? I think this is part of active sky, doing active sky things. Let's see how the autopilot handles. We'll go autopilot 1 on. Maybe a mouse in the cockpit. Fuba, what happened? What happened in the chat? Who do I need to beat up now? Say again? I'm sorry, you're coming in real quiet. Repeat one more time. Direct to smelts. Spear wing 357. Direct to smelts. My airplane is so dang loud. 319, baby. 319 is so loud. Yeah, they did fail me on the lights. But those flyby sounds are still awesome.
Airway 1993, we're going to contact climb maintain flight level 370.
Turn the sim down a little bit just because it was a realistic level of noise. But you see how it's like, I feel like this is new. Or this might have something to do with active sky.
One try Victor, you're going to contact, just confirm your IFR, correct?
Because it's definitely turbulent simulation.
We are climbing IFR.
But I don't know if I love it.
Is your one try Victor, what's going to be a cruise altitude today?
I was in the first row of a 3-night last night. Oh, the CFM's Andre, yeah. Good to see you, Andre. Hope all is well, man. Alright, so we're climbing out. We got lots of stuff. More stuff's going to happen. I might end up getting rid of active sky. Alright, there's 10,000 feet. Let's do our 10,000 foot flow. Lights are coming off. That's coming off. That's coming off. That's coming off. That should have been on. Forward call. And we'll come down here. Yep, you're good. Alright, cool. They're good. I'd probably actually leave that on so I can hear what's going on. Come down here, 21.5. Delta Ops is on 2. Monitor that. We're out of 10. Things are looking good.
At 12 south, Watching 12,000.
Is this the open beta? No, I believe it's the latest version. Whatever the latest version is, that's what I'm rocking.
West, you can plan ILS 26 right. Expect ILS 26 right.
Now, depending on how far Atlanta Center goes, how far does Atlanta Center cover? Because we may have to disconnect. Alright, everything is looking good. So, now, let's talk about what we're flying into. So, since I can't really simulate this very well, we're going to have to just kind of talk through it. We're simulating that our flight down to Fort Lauderdale now, we're flying into, say there's a tropical storm down there or approaching, kind of like what's happening in California. So right now, it is super low visibility in Lauderdale with heavy rain. Visibility is, like a quarter mile, right? So they're doing Cat 3's approaches in there, Cat 2 at a minimum, Cat 2, Cat 3 approaches, a lot of traffic, a lot of delays. That's kind of what we're simulating, right? We're flying down into Florida. Just put that in your mind, is we're going into an airport that is going to require most likely a coupled approach or a Cat 3 approach. So keep that in mind as we progress on this flight. We'll put the airport button up here as well. 10. All right, everything is looking good. We're just chilling like villains now. Now I can finally get back to the chat. Probably such a new question. I can't believe I never thought of it till now, but are the manual brakes applied? How are the manual brakes? What do you mean how are manual brakes? You just press the brake pedals. Brake pedals. Atlanta doesn't even cover down the Florida Georgia line. Okay, good. That's Jack Center down there. Good deal. So we're good to go on there. I tried to fly from Philadelphia to Seattle and made it to the approach before my sim crashed. Dude. Were you in Microsoft to Curry? Do you have any? So one thing that I always do is, if you're going to do a long haul like that, make sure you load into your destination airport, fly around it, make sure everything is good. Because like same with Sydney, if we would have done that mini long haul from New Zealand to Sydney, we would have crashed. Sim would have crashed because something was wrong. I cannot get the Orbix City Skyline to work at all. So it was crashing my sim, but I wouldn't have known that unless I would have loaded into Sydney first. So always load into your destination first. Make sure you check it out. Make sure everything is smooth, and then try your long haul. Tyson, good to see you. You didn't miss much. We had an APU fail. We had a GPU fail. We crossbleed start, and now we're flying down into Fort Lauderdale with a hurricane and low vis. So that is the scenario as of right now. How'd you do that flyby? Nope. In X-Plane 12, it's a shift 2. Where's AJ Funari's flyby? Shift 1. There you go. Here's a slow-mo flyby. Cannot wait till we get some IAEs from toliss, though. Can you explain addition to EPR and N1? Engine pressure ratio and N1. So N1 is, well, start with N1. That's your fan blade. That's your N1 fan. That's what most airliners are going to now, is you do set power with N1. But EPR is the engine pressure ratio between it's the pressure ratio, or ratio, according to the Mentor pilot, between the inlet pressure and the turbojet exhaust pressure. So that's a ratio of that. So you, depending on the engine, you will set thrust on your EPR or your N1. The IAEs still use EPR, but the IAEs also have an N1 degraded mode, which is up here on the overhead right here. You can actually put these in N1 mode, which if you have a FADEC fault or something, which I've had in real life, you'll just operate them off N1. All right, so 18,000 STDs for you, me, and the jump seater. We got the standard set across the board. Zeppelin is the cutoff. Oh. I have control. Thrust lock. Auto flight, auto thrust off, thrust levers move. Okay, I have control. We'll put them back in the climb detent. Map not avail. Set offside range. Alright, I'm going to try autopilot 1 does not engage. Autopilot 2 engage. We're 2 FD2. Auto thrust engages.
Southwest 537 on the
All right.
south side of concourse, Echo, ready for taxi.
Thrust climb, open climb nav, autopilot 2 now, 2FD2. So that tells me, without going any further, that we've lost an FMGC. We're 2FD2 now. So my set offside range, so I gotta go 40. All right, so now we're basically stuck on the FO side. So basically FMGC1 is off. So auto flight, auto thrust off. Their auto flight status, stop status. Let me go FMGC opposite. So let me go back here. Flight plan page is up. All right, status. Cat 3 single only. So what did we just talk about? We talked about we're flying into an area of high rain, low visibility, probably anticipating Cat 3 approaches, and now we're already looking at a Cat 3 single. That's going to have an impact on our operation. In-op systems, autopilot 1 and Cat 3 dual. All right, clear status. Okay, at this point, since FMGC 1 is failed, I would transfer controls to the first officer and I'd say, I'm going to work the radios, you have control, and I'm going to go into the procedures and see if we can look up something. Okay, you have control. Now I got to look up that. So we had a, if I recall it here, you can actually recall the faults. Well, it's all normal now, but that's an FMGC, and we had an FMGC range. So I'm going to just see if there's anything in the book here. Let me go back to my comm. Let me search. What would I search for? Let's look for FM. Auto flight, FMGS, manual reset of one FMGCs. Let's see if we can do that. On rare occasions, FMGC may require manual resetting. If this occurs in flight, reset one FMGC at a time. Manual reset of an FMGC, refer to the system reset table, auto flight, for manual reset procedure. I actually did not remember that we had that, so I'm glad I'm doing this. So let's go to the reset table and let's see if we can reset this. All right, FM manual system reset table. Nope, I need to go not table. I need to go to system reset. There we go. All right, so I got to find the applicable aircraft. We're in a 320 with IAEs. So now I got to look for FMGC auto flight, auto thrust, auto flight FCU. No, here we go. Cat 3 dual displayed in-op system without any other ECAM alert. Let me see what else we can find. One McDo, both McDos, locked, SIDS. No. I'm pretty sure that's the fault right there. Let me just make sure. Okay, so that is our reset right there. So we have auto flight, FMGC, both McDo locked or blink, or FMGC malfunction. That's what we have. Circuit breakers for the FMGCs are located there, overhead and right rear. On ground does not apply. In flight. So let's try an on-flight reset, or in-flight reset. Set non-affected autopilot to on. We did. That's autopilot 2. We identified that right away by looking at our FMA because you live and die by what? Your FMA. Set flight director 1-2 push button to off. Pull the circuit breaker of the affected FMGC. So autoflight FMGC 1 is on the B2 49VU overhead. B2 49VU. Hold on, my wife is texting me. I think she's texting me for coffee, but I already had some. Oh no, she's texting me for something not important. All right, what did I say? 40 B2 FMGC 1. Okay, so before I pull it, I always reread it. Pull the circuit breaker and wait 10 seconds. Wait 10 seconds. Always wait 1 minute after the please wait message disappears from the McDo before engaging or re-engaging the flight directors and the autopilot of the reset FMGC. Alright, so that's 10 seconds. Let's come back, we'll push it in.
Runway 27 right, taxi via Lima Juliet 8, Continental 298.
Always wait 1 minute after the please wait disappears from the view. Alright, so I still have to wait 1 minute. So we still gotta wait before. I don't know if we actually reset that. Did we actually just reset that? I didn't want to. I had no idea I could reset that. I was kind of hoping it failed. But that cleared our status. Steven, no, she's texting me about some blow-up water slides for Labor Day. Ooh, should I get the ooh, help me out, Chad. Oh, man. 16-foot Fiesta Fire double lane slide with pool or 18-foot Freedom Fury slide? Freedom Fury, or do we go with the Fiesta Fire? Man, that's good. All right, there's a minute. So let's try. Oh my gosh, we actually fixed Autopilot 1. We actually fixed it. I'm actually really shocked right now. I didn't want to fix it. I set that fault. No, I didn't. We reset a fault that I had, but now we're flying all over the place. What's happening? I don't know what's happening where we're turning to the right there. Let's get back direct Zeppelin here. Yeah, we fixed it, but the flight director is drunk AF. We're turning back direct on course now. Alright, so let's say we're flying along. I didn't want to fix it, but I'm glad we did. I'm glad we did. Let's just say we're flying along and that happens again. Alright, I have control. 2FD2, thrust lock, clear the caution. Auto flight, auto thrust off, engine, or auto thrust lock, thrust levers move. So I'm going to bring it back to the climb detent. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get my flight director off. I'm going to go autopilot 2. We're 2FD2. Let's go back direct Zeppelin, opposite side FMGC, direct Zeppelin. Alright, so we did one in-flight reset. And let's go auto thrust back on. Alright, thrust climb, open climb, nav, auto thrust is back on. Auto flight, auto thrust off, clear that, status. So we've reset it once in flight, but it came back. So we're not going to reset it again. Alright, so it was actually really cool that we worked through that and reset that fault. Had no idea that was going to happen, but that was sweet. But let's continue on to happen again. Okay, we're not going to reset the fault. So we've already done one reset in flight. We're not going to do it again.
357, Jack centers offline for change crew. Good luck out there.
Over to Unicom, thanks for the ATC. Spirit Wing 357, we'll see it. Alright, 22.8 for Unicom. Uh-oh.
And you guys thought I was nice by giving my seat to an old lady. I had a bad feeling about this flight. She's had a good life.
Seat 2A, appreciate you, man. Thanks for a $3 bank angle check. Hey, it's been a while. Missed you, Seat 2A. Welcome back. Glad to have you on board. You picked a hell of a day to give up your seat, but appreciate you. Welcome to the stream, and thank you for that $3 bank angle check, my friend. Very kind of you. All right, so let's continue with our discussion then. We're going to Lauderdale. Weather is low. It's heavy rain, restricted visibility, and right now we are looking at Autopilot 1 and Cat 3 dual is in op. So that's going to lead me to think about our approaches. So to think about Cat 3, I'm going to pull out the quick reference handbook for auto land with Autopilot 1 and Cat 3 dual in op. Can we do it? Can we not do it? So in the Cat 3 approach briefing, we have requirement examples, we have charted visibilities, we have equipment requirements. So let's look at equipment requirements. So Cat 3 single is what we can do. We can no longer do a Cat 3 dual as indicated by our ECAM here. We can do a Cat 3 single approach, however. Autopilot, we only need one autopilot engaged. So we have autopilot 2, and we have, we can have one autopilot engaged, and we're going to be Cat 3 single. So as long as we have all the other equipment, which I'm doing a quick scan over, auto thrust, which we do have auto thrust, it is required, we've got it. All right, cool. So we can still do a Cat 3 single approach. All right, so at this point, I'm going to elect to continue. I'm going to say, all right, we can still do a Cat 3 single. Let's continue pressing on towards Fort Lauderdale. We're planning on a Cat 3 single. Probably send a message to dispatch, wrong side sim, hit them up, be like, hey, oh no, and we just lost something else. So, hey Cap, I just lost my ND. Really? We have an ND failure now. Okay, now that's going to change things up. Looking at our approach equipment that I was just looking at, an ND's requirement is Cat 3 single. 2 NDs are required. So now we only have one ND. Now, how many PFDs are required? 2 PFDs are required. So we can't get sneaky and put this over here and say, hey, we have 2 NDs now. I can still shoot a Cat 3 single. No, because we still need 2 PFDs. So we are, at this point, going to be severely restricted on our approach capabilities. Fiesta Fire? All right, I'll text you. I'll say we're getting Fiesta Fire. All right, leveling 370. Let's go ahead and get the seatbelt sign off. Let's continue to fly the airplane, and then we're going to get back in the book here. We're looking at an ND failure. The slide calls for a pull. Too funny. All right, so looking at minimum approach capabilities, charted RVR, we're not going to be able to land in Fort Lauderdale. So let's send a message to dispatch. We'll come on down here. We'll go to the ATSU, AOC, free text to dispatch. Be like, hey, we're sitting here with an ND failure and an FMGC failure. Weather in Fort Lauderdale is not going to be good for us to land. What do you think about either Orlando or Tampa? After a discussion, they said, why don't we, with the weather also encroaching on Orlando, best course of action would be to divert to Tampa. So now we got to set up an in-flight diversion to Tampa Airport, which is 220 miles and a bearing of 170. It's close. So how do we do that? We're going to come down to the flight deck here. We're going to go to our flight plan. There's multiple ways to do this, but if you select an a waypoint that is not an active one, we have the new destination. That's going to be the easiest way. So I'm going to put new destination Tampa. We'll insert that. I'm probably going to disconnect from VATSIM just to be safe, so we don't piss anybody off. So VATSIM is disconnected. All right, we're going to set up direct to Tampa Airport and Center Spirit Wings 357. We've been talking with dispatch. We've had a couple of faults here. We're going to need to set up a diversion to Tampa. Cactus 357, roger that. Diverting to Tampa. Maintain 370, flight heading 190. And do you require any assistance? Or are you declaring an emergency? No, we're not declaring an emergency at this time. No assistance required. We're just going because we can't get into Fort Lauderdale due to our limitations with some of our equipment faults. All right, 357, copy that. Like I said, maintain 370, flight heading 190. All right, 190 on the heading. Cactus 357, you can expect the ILS 19 left into Tampa. And we'll set you up here pretty soon at arrival. All right, copy that. All right, so Tampa. Approach, hold on. I want to go flight plan, Tampa, arrival. Well, let me pick a runway. Approach via, here we go, Tampa, arrival, ILS. Actually, no, we don't want 19 left. What do we want? We want the ILS that they always give you, that's 1 left. Yeah, ILS 1 left into Tampa. No start, but we'll approach via St. Pete. Yeah, we'll do it from St. Pete. Okay, we'll insert that flight plan, and Speedway 357-1A will proceed direct to St. Pete, and we'll get you set up for ILS into Tampa. Copy that, direct St. Pete at this time, and descend and maintain flight level 330. Descend to 330, direct St. Pete. So now we're going direct to, and this is going to get tricky. So we have to, even though the ND is off on the right side, we have to still use offside FM control. So another way you can kind of get around this is you can put this over here. So now I can see what's happening, what range is on. But I'm going to leave that PFD up. And then we're going to go 80 and 80. All right, so 80 and 80 is set. We're down to 330. We're setting up for a diversion, and we're going into Tampa. So now, a couple other things have to happen. We got to get an amendment from dispatch. We'll get an amendment. We'll make sure they know where we're going, how much fuel, what our new fuel burn is, etc., etc. We come down here, we can look. We got that actually saves us gas. We got an hour 16 extra. Plenty good. We'll get the weather from Tampa as well. We can go ATSU, do a weather request on this one. Weather ATIS for Tampa only. Oh, let's go ahead and get the METAR. We'll send that off. And then we'll pull out our AVI. Oh, what was that? What am I hitting there? Weird. Okay. We'll clear you off, And let's look up Tampa charts. No chance Jackson get you direct St. Pete as not an emergency. Good thing we're not online though. Alright, Tampa. I just didn't want to look up a star. Port approach. 1 left, ILS. This is what we're going to fly. And we're also going to do it from above. Now, what does this do? Ooh, night mode? Rotation? Alright, cool. I know you're going to be hitting CHECKRIDE training really hard, but can we squeeze a Fokker flight in one of these days? Maybe when we get back to the tour, man. When we get back to the tour. Oh, no, I didn't mean to do that. Dang it. AOC, receive messages. Tampa, new, not available, I know. Tampa, new METAR, that's what I want. We'll print that off. Winds Tampa 090 at 19, gusting 17. Juicy. 3005. So let's go perf, next phase. 090 at 9er. Temperature is 33. QNH is 3005. That's our MDA for Tampa. 1 left ILS. We're coming down here. It's going to be 211. 211 in the MDA. That is set. Cool. Done. Oh, heaven for the Mate 4. That's right. Save more time this way. I hate this offside range control. All right, 330. We're going direct to St. Pete. We're set up for the ILS 1 left. That's going to lead us into a discussion about capturing glide slope from above, because that's what we're going to do on this one. We're going to do a glide slope from above capture. Do you know that Fiesta Fire water slide costs $2,600? Not going to buy it. We're not buying it, just renting it. You guys think the Fiesta? I'm going to text you, because if my nephew's going to be coming over. Chat says Fiesta Fire. How many? Because the other one is only 2 slides. This one is 3 slides. So if I have 3 kids going down slides.
Have you been there IRL recently? Nice to be back on the stream. I just passed my private written smile.
Part 1 promos. Thanks for the $1 bank angle check. No, I have not been to Columbus in a long time. But nice to have you back on board. Welcome to the stream. Fiesta Freedom. I just like the pools part. Hold on. Is there pools? Okay, Fiesta Fire it is, yeah. It has pools, though. Yeah, Fiesta Fire for sure. Alright, chat, we're getting a Fiesta Fire for, what is it, Labor Day? Yeah. Santiago, good to see you, man. The ILS use DH? No, not on this. We're doing a regular Cat 1 ILS. So, something to brief here. We want the video of V1 going down the slide. So Romulus, for my 4-year-old's birthday, when she turned 4, I went down. We got another one, but it was a shorter slide. It was like a 12-footer, and I took the dog down it. It was like a bounce house connected to a water slide, and I went down it with the dog. It was actually pretty funny. My wife got a video of it. Maybe I'll put it in the After Dark. My dog was not happy with me. Actually, Dade's one would have been more optimal, but they always overload Florida arrivals from the east. No chance to get rerouted on them. Yeah, Florida sucks in the summer. I just don't fly there. Why MDA for Cat 1? Because you're not doing a ground-based approach. You're doing a minimum descent altitude. You're using a descent altitude, not a descent height in the Airbus. If you were using a descent height, that would be different. But we're using a descent, or a decision altitude, excuse me. All right, so glide slope from above. I gotta look that up now, because I gotta figure out where this is in, why is it? Alright, so I got the double binding. So what they do in Tampa here, this is why you get a glide slope from above. The final approach fix of Selman, 2,600 feet on slope. A lot of times, they will ask you to maintain 3,000 until passing the MacDill Air Force Base. So they'll say, in this case, Spirit Wings 357, you're cleared visual, runway 1 left approach, maintain 3,000 until past MacDill. So if you have the ILS in here ready to go, if you're 3,000 over Selman and past it, you're going to be high on slope. This is real world, happens quite frequently. So let's look up the glide slope from above. I already know it back of my head, but I'm going to just review the procedure since that's what we're doing here. So that's going to be in the, what is that going to be? Glide slope from above. Not in that book. Not in that book. Gear down, flaps 2 around 8. Yeah, but they actually changed it for us. They actually want us coming in at flaps 3 now for my SOP, which is what I'm going to look up because that's the only one that's important. Supplemental. Gosh, I hate this new software, man. This thing sucks. You can't find anything in this thing. Auto thrust for descent and approach. Gear down. Steeper or less steep? Pretty sure it's flaps 3, 160 gear down prior to. I was just trying to find it. I can't even find it in the book. That's how stupid this thing is. That is frustrating. Non-precision approach, RNAV visual, yada 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 yada. Wind shear. Nope, we're not doing that today. Alright, well, we know it's flaps 3, 160. I don't know where it is. I can't find it. It's gonna piss me off. Unless it's over here. Why would it be in this book? It probably is in this book. I bet you it is. And the search function is super slow. We're using content now. It's called Content Locker. on the software we used before, the symbols were different. So like to search an outline in the software I used before, that symbol that you would always hit is now a different symbol that looks like the tag signal, which is completely different. Gustavo, good to see you, man. Welcome. Gustavo, what's your glide slope from above procedure? Do you have one? I think ours is flaps 3 160 now. It used to be, or flaps 3 160 gear down. It used to be flaps 2 180 gear down. But now it's flaps 3 160. I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to find it. I can't find this thing. Hold on. I will search. I can't find it. Yeah, unless it's not in here. You see HKK's post? What did HKK say? Why flaps 3? Because the flaps 3 right when you, that way you only have one flap notch to go. Would you mind rotating, play around with the heading bug? Let me see. You're looking for that sound, right? Yeah, I don't know where it's coming from. Thought it was that for a second. It was pod discretion. They used to teach 160 flaps 2 gear down on the 19, but the 20 was 180. Yeah, I can't find it, man. I think we're just gonna go flaps 3 160. Go around responsibility, landing on runways less than 6,000 feet. I got all those. Unless it's just not in here. Stabilized approach. Logging of auto landings. So it would have to be, if it's not there, the only other book it could be, which is already looked at. And maybe it's in the ALM 2. Normal procedures. Flight crew techniques. ILS final approach and geometry 319. Supplementary. No, I can't find it. This is ridiculous. They always said just remember to be on glide slope. Yeah, by 1,500 it needs to be stable at 1,000 or IMC. Yeah. Something mapped to my hardware you think is causing it, HKK? I wonder what it could be. It's well, initially I would think, okay, it's got to be thrust levers, right? Not that. Not the speed brake clicking. Or was it? It was a speed brake. It was a speed brake clicking. We found it. Yeah. Yeah, we found it. It was a speed brake. Thanks, HKK. Now that we found it, after done listening to it, let's listen to our outside view. Alright. You guys watch the airplane. I'm going to find this. This is going to piss me off. How can I not find this glide slope from above? Descent mode, above aircraft profile. It's not in this book. It's not in there. Not in there. Not there. Not there. Did you install Carta? No, I did not install a Carta mod, Gustavo. I did not. This is going to piss me off so much. I'm going to actually text my buddies. All right, we're 330. We're approaching our descent, so stand by. I got to send a text. All right. Hopefully we get a text. Anyway, we're going to plan flaps 3 160 geared down just prior to the final approach fix. The reason we do that is because once we hit the final approach fix, we need to select a feet per minute or a vertical speed of at least 2,000 feet. If you're not at 160 or flaps 3 or gear down, if you go to 2,000 feet per minute vertical speed, you're going to destabilize your approach because you're going to accelerate and you could either overspeed or not slow down. You won't be stable for your approach. So that's why we're going to configure for that. I got to go ahead and do offside range control for all this here. Let's go constraint mode on that side, and let's go plan mode. Zoom it down to like 20 miles. Make sure they're all matching, and we'll go to the flight plan page, and hold on. I'm just gonna do it from this side. I'll go over here. There it is. So St. Pete. This has got the full procedure with the hold in it, right? This actually might be good. We can do the full procedure. We'll do St. Pete. We'll let it do a procedure turn and then inbound. We're doing this for training purposes. At or above 3,000 there for St. Pete. So we'll go back to arc mode. We'll do about 60 miles, 60 miles. We're going to set 3,000 feet here in the window, and we're going to start down in just a few minutos. Oh, it actually looks like there's some weather out there forming. This is real weather. I wonder, hopefully the weather's all right. Just joined. What's the scenario? Jeremy Harvey, good to see you, man. We've had a lot of stuff happen so far. We actually reset an FMGC by accident, which was pretty cool. APU auto shutdown, GPU fail, crossbleed, autopilot 1 fail, FMGC 1 fail, ND fail. We're diverting to Tampa right now, and we're getting set up to do an ILS from above into Tampa, Florida. So that is what we're at. Good to see you. Welcome on board. 8 miles to TOD. It's the second or third page under the SOP approach chapter, most time, I believe, for the final approach procedure. Dan, no, I have no idea what you're talking about. Our books are completely different. I have all company books that I'm looking at. It'll be completely different from stuff you find online. There's about 5 miles. We'll go ahead and mash that one down. So what happens, at least in the States, is you have your FCOM that Airbus publishes, right? Then the airlines grab that, they tear it up, they put it into different books, whether they're AOM 1 and 2, COM 1 and 2, your SOPs, QRMs. So they get all split up, and then they send those to the FAA, then the FAA approves those. And so basically an FCOM is just Airbus. And then from there, the airlines chew them up, spit out their own company books, and then that's what we have. That's what I'm looking at. The amount of times I look in an FCOM is 0 to 0 because everything else that I need is in our own company books, and we call those either COMs or AOMs or QRMs, TUVs and XYZs. Crimson, so nice to me to come visit you in Tampa. It's going to be fun, man. We'll see. We just started the TOD. We'll do a flyby here. Looking good. Have you ever done one of these procedures? Yes, Mo. Everything that we've done so far I've actually done in real life, except that FMGC reset in flight. I've never had to do an FMGC reset in flight. I wasn't even aware that there was a reset in flight for that. I mean, I guess I knew there would be if I would have really thought about it. But when I went through the ECAM like you're supposed to do, go to the book, and it said, hey, we have a reset for this. Oh, okay, cool. I mean, it's impossible to remember everything, especially everything that you have a reset for. And especially since I haven't been in the airplane for over a month, you know, but the more you fly in real life, the more these little things come up. So the more little things come up, the more you're in that system reset table. And that's really the biggest, I wouldn't say the biggest, but that is one that I think is important to be familiar with, because when you have an ECAM go off, if you remember that there's a reset for it, it can automatically change the dynamic of what's happening. It's like, okay, don't freak out. We got a reset for that. Let's do this and then continue on. But if you're like, oh my gosh, what is this? Like there was one that used to come up that was quite frequently with something after start, flight control after start. I can't remember what it was now. And basically there was a reset where you just go in and you reset the flight control computers. But if you didn't know that, you'd be like, oh no, set the brake, call maintenance, and then they just tell you, hey, did you look in the reset table? Oh yeah, it's in the reset table. So, and we have different reset tables for each airframe. So 319s, 320s, 321s, the IEs, the NEOs, all of them have their own reset table. So there's quite a lot. But like that's why I do these streams, especially leading up to my recurrent, especially after not flying, because I haven't. The last time I looked at a system reset table was probably 2 months plus ago. Reset table is really big. Yeah, it's quite let me see. So just for the 319s, let me look it up. I have it right here. Just for the 319s, our reset table is, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh, that's half the 319s, 16. So half the 319s are 16 pages. The other 319s, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 29 pages. 29 pages for the 319s, and they're split up into 2 separate 319s. And that's on and I'm looking, the pages that I'm flipping are kind of like a little bit larger than Bible font, but a full page of EFB. So like it's a full page. It's a lot of stuff. Does the Airbus have auto trim? Yes. Do you have to memorize? No, you do not have to memorize them, Jeremy. No, it's something that you don't have to memorize. And general rule of thumb, especially for us, is like if it's published in the cockpit, you really don't have to memorize it. Our limitation section is quite, I'd say quite light, as opposed to some other airplanes, even that airline or other operators that I know I have friends at that fly the same airplane. I forgot how tray table works. Our limitation section is actually a little bit lighter, but the one that we still have to memorize, like you still have to know these, but you actually don't have to memorize your flap speeds because they're published. All right, but we're set up. We're coming down for the ILS 1 left into Tampa down to 3,000 feet, and we're going to do a procedure turn entry because I want to see how the airplane handles it. That'll count as our hold entry refresher. As an IT guy, I love that fixes on the Airbus are basically, have you tried switching it off then on again? GNR, exactly. Hey Jay, yes, that is the epitome of RTFM, is when you call maintenance. The amount of times I've had that, oh, I'm so dumb. I call maintenance. One instance in particular in New Orleans. What was the fault? It was something so silly. And there's a reset for it, and I knew there was a reset for it. I think it was something to do with the it has something to do with electrical. But it was as simple as like, you know, switching the gen off and on. Is basically how simple it was. I don't know if that's what it was. And I knew this. But I just, for some reason, that day we pushed off the gate in New Orleans. I'm like, oh, here's ding, ECAM. I'm going to call maintenance. Hey, maintenance control. I'm like, oh, yeah, he's like, well, did you read the manual? No. Oh, okay, read the manual and call me back. Ding, reset, good to go, and on our way. It happens, man, it happens. Sometimes simple things just don't happen. I've actually had one where we were trying to drain the potable water tank, and the ground crew guy came up to me and he's like, "Hey, Cap, we can't drain the potable water. I don't know what's happening. It's frozen or whatever." And the lever, so to open it, it's basically there's like a safety lever on the potable water dump area, or where you like open the valve. If any of your rampers, you know what I'm talking about. And the guy, he's like, "Yeah, I can't." He's like, "I can't." It's like, "I can't open it." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Yeah, it's broken." He's like, "We're gonna have to call maintenance." Okay, let me go look at it. So I walk out to the back of the airplane, and the guy couldn't open the access panel. It wasn't even the actual lever for potable water. He didn't know how to open the access panel where you have those latches. And I don't know if it was his first day on the job or if he was just trying to play a joke on me. But I was like, "Hey, you got to open this access panel first." He's like, "Oh, but like I was pushing." But he was pushing on those flip tabs. You have to push on the large part. If you push on the small part, it doesn't open. And he kept pushing on the small part. And I just went up there and I pressed the button and it opened up and we could drain the bottled water. All right. But it happens, man. That one was, that one still, I'm like, really? How did you get hired to do LAV or any type of external airport service? Because I'm pretty sure every airplane has very similar like panel switches or panel latches. Even the Citations I flew had the same latches. All right, we're at a 16, descending for 3,000 over Lagu, and we're going to need to speed up the descent. So let's go ahead and expedite. So we're going to go thrust idle, open descent. I'm going to select speed 300 to help us get down. Down we go. Let's do everything else is good. We'll get the seatbelt sign on. Flight attendants prepare for landing. Send checklist. He could have been a Boeing guy. He could have been a Boeing guy, Josh, for sure. Because I don't know how it is on the Boeing, and maybe it was different. Maybe it was his first Airbus. You never know. All right, so we got a teardrop entry set up here over Lagu. We're in an open descent with the speed brakes out, 4,000 feet a minute, 300 knots. We got to talking there. I got to stop paying attention. But now it's time to reel it in, pay attention here. So we're going to do this procedure turn entry. We're going to maintain 3,000. We're going to mimic an approach clearance from above. We're going to be good to go. Yeah, Crimson Ghost. I mean, it's not to say that the guy wasn't bright. I just, you know, it's easy for me, someone who's been on the airplane and knows the airplane, to say that was silly. Like, how do you not know that? But, hey, maybe it was his first Airbus he was servicing, so... That's why you always go out and verify. There's a few Skittles liveries left. Yeah, but I love the grayscale, man. Look at that grayscale livery. So juice. All right, 11.5. We need to slow to 250. Why are we so high on this? We're going through 10,000. We'll get all the lights on. Does it really think we're just going to hold here? I think it does. I'm going to go vertical speed 0. Vertical speed 0, level at 10,000. We're entering the hold way too fast. Let's go ahead and drop it to 2. Let's go right back to 180. And center Spear Wings 357. We enter the hold over Lagu. 10,000 feet. Time now 1819. Zulu. Spear Wings 357. Roger. Advise when we're ready to accept an approach clearance. That's all they really do. It's as simple as that. Just looking that you remember to do that. So there's VFE next -10. Let's go. Flaps 1 is coming on. Well, now it's time to get serious. So we're going to do, like I said, glide soap from above, practice. That's the approach idle coming up. Status, clear status. This is our divert airport. Would have made an announcement to the passengers as well. Do I like grayscale more than banana? Jeremy, I do. Yes, I actually do. I actually like grayscale more than the banana. I would say banana number 2 after grayscale would be my livery of choice. Alright, let's continue now with an open descent. Thrust idle, open descent, VFE next -10, flaps 2. Hopefully Spirit does a retrojet. Well, Brandon, you know, I don't know what the plans are for the Spirit JetBlue merger thing, but I hope that they, because from what I've been told, it appears that JetBlue is going to basically take over Spirit, and they are going to be repainting all their airplanes to blue. But I hope that maybe JetBlue will do it, because JetBlue has some retro stuff. They got a retro livery. They got some fun liveries. So it would be nice if they had some retros. I think that'd be cool. We'll see. The yellow was genius for marketing. Oh, hell yeah, Aviator Trav. And I say it all the time. Like, if you ever fly into Fort Lauderdale, even Chicago, anywhere where there's a heavy Spirit presence on the ramp and their airplanes are actually there, you can see it from a mile away. And you're like, what is that? And little kids love yellow. So, like, for Disney and Florida and all that stuff, they want to ride a yellow airplane. I took my nephew. He's a little bit older than my oldest. We were in the airport, and I was like, hey, I met him in the airport one time, and I was like, hey, let's buy an airplane for him to take home. And they had all the airplanes, the Uniteds, Deltas, Americans, Spirits, all the different ones. And all he wanted was the yellow one, and it was the last one. And then even at the checkout counter, the guy was like, yeah, we just can't keep the yellow ones in stock. That is surprising. The new JetBlue doesn't look that bad. It doesn't look terrible, McCollin. I think they could have done better, though. We had a lengthy discussion over that. Yellow and blue make jet green. Crimson, that would be sweet. Green is my favorite color. I would like to see a green livery. No one has green except Frontier. The government is trying to block that merger. Yeah, they're just trying to. They're just doing what the government does, grandstanding, trying to act like they're doing something. It'll go through. If that Spirit JetBlue merger does not go through, I will personally purchase 5 Phoenix Airbuses for viewers on the channel. I will personally purchase 5 Phoenix A320s for viewers of the channel if that merger doesn't go through. That's how confident I am. My son started his first day of flight training today, college. I'd be a proud Anthony Teal. That is awesome. Well, congratulations to you and your son. That's a big day. Man. That's a big day. What do you think of the 220? I think it's a cool airplane. X-Plane 12 Clouds, they're not bad, but honestly, I mean, they've come a long way. They look good, but there's just nothing, like, I'm not going to look at this sim and be like, oh, this sim looks good. There's no way. After flying yesterday's stream into Hurricane Hillary, or the Tropical Storm Hillary, rather, the clouds and rain that we saw, there's just no comparing it. But what we're about to do is why we're in this sim. So we're going to enter here. We're going to try to maintain 3 till Selm. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. I think it's going to do 1 turn in the hold. This was our entry. Let's see how low we can get. We got our speed brakes. Go full Alpine, full boards. Let's see, we are, I need to brighten up the screen now. Yeah, this is the opposite of Phoenix problems. We're too dark. 183, 6 miles. We might make it. All right, Spirit winds 357. Maintain 3,000 till passing over MacDill. Cleared ILS. 1 left approach. So the approach button is on. We're Cat 3 single. Loc is captured. Glide slope is blue. We know we're going to maintain 3, so we need to slow to 160 now. And we're going to intentionally capture glide slope from above on this one. All right, VFE next to -10, flaps 3. Still riding those full boards out, so I love the 319. All right, so as per our briefing, just prior to Selm, I will select gear down, and we will anticipate a vertical speed of about 2,000. I'm going to keep my range at 10, I guess. So I have to keep doing that offside control. All right, we're speed alt star. We're flaps 3. MacDill Air Force Base is right here on the peninsula, so we're going to maintain 3 till passing that, and then we will start on down. No need to do any recording because it's all included. Oh man, look at that. I love the landing light extension there. We're looking good. Wonder if reshape work X-Plane 12? I think there is. I used to run reshade on 11 a long time ago. Or maybe it wasn't reshade, X Vision maybe? There's other programs you can use. There's other programs you can use for sure. But all right, so there's MacDill Air Force Base. You see it? So we got to maintain 3. So we're flaps 3. Let's go gear down. We're 160. I'm going to prime up my vertical speed here to 2,000. This is a dumb procedure. I don't know why we changed this. I have to. That's why I said I got to look it up to verify this is what it is. I'm pretty sure this is what it is. But flaps 3, 160 at level flight, just like unnecessary. In a 319, 320. Might have to do it, but I don't know. All right, so there's MacDill. We're 3,000. This is a real world clearance. Oh no, I want local only. Almost botched our whole check ride. Did you see that, Chad? I had glide slope armed. It was just about to capture. That's exactly how you bust this part of your check ride. Got to maintain LOP. We're LOP blue. We're cleared for the one left visual approach now. Runway's in sight. Well, we got to set something lower, so we can set. We'll set something above. We'll spin this out of the way. We'll set 5 for now. Vertical speed, reprime it up to 2,000 feet here, or 2,000 feet per minute. Typically, I'll ask the FO, but like, just let me know when we're past the approach end there for runway 4, when we pass the approach end of runway 4. So the FO's over here looking at the runway. It's like, all right, Cap, yeah, you're past the approach end of 4 now. We can start down. So vertical speed 2,000. Vertical speed 2,000. We're geared down. Manage speed. And we're trying to capture it. And now we can go ahead and arm the approach. So vertical speed 2,000, glide slope blue. Use a little speed brake here. In the event of a go-around, we'll set 3,000 now. Going out to set 3,000 blue. Glide slope star is captured. So see how easy that was to capture? We're VFE next -10. Let's go ahead and extend flaps full. We'll stow the speed brake. All right, and we'll arm the cabin as well. They're good to go. All right, so glide slope low Cat 3 single autopilot 2 FD2, approaching 1,000 feet. We're about 1,500, so we're stable configured, but we're stable now. We're 150, trending towards it. So now this is the intermediate level off trick. Spear wings 357. Go around, maintain 2,000. Go around, maintain 2,000. Spear wings 357. Go around flaps. Positive rate. You're up. Speed out star. See how quick that happened? See how quick I just cycled it forward? We're speed out star nav. This is an intermediate level off. They try to get you to go past 2,000 feet here, but we're verifying. I'm ready to cancel it if I need to. F speed, flaps 1. Speed checks, flaps 1. Speedway's 357. Maintain 2,000 and fly present heading. Present heading, maintain 2,000. Speedway's 357. Flap 0. Speed checks, flap 0. Speed out heading. And Speedway, sorry about that. We had an issue here in the tower. Say approach request. We're like, we're flipping the airport around too. We're going to be doing the RNAV. So Speedway 357, fly heading 340. You can expect the RNAV for 19er left. All right, so we're going to fly heading 340. We're 2,000. We're accelerating at 250. Let's change our approach. We're going to do an RNAV arrival now. It's interesting that it's doing that for me there. won't let me change the approach runway. That's weird. See that? It won't let me. Well, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Hold on. That's a simism. That's not a... What? Oh, you have to arrow back. That's weird. Alright. RNAV, 19er left, Zulu, no star. And we'll take it off of... let's slow down so we're not going all the way out here. Tampa, RNAV. I don't even have that in here. Is that RNAV 19er left Zulu? Oh, there it is. RNAV 19er left Zulu. Darbs or J-Stram? I'll tell you what, let's do Darbs and then we'll just clean it up from there. We'll insert that, close you. VFE next minus 10, flaps 1. Status, clear status. We're still autopilot 1 at Cat 3 dual. Vertical deviation is flashing because we're going to get our LS push buttons off. We're set up for the RNAV now. Screw wings 357, turn left, heading 290. You can expect direct to Zadsa. Climb and maintain 3000. Climb and maintain 3000. We'll expect that on heading at 290. Check 357. All right, so now we are reset up for the RNAV 19er left Zulu. Let's come in here. We're going to hand fly this. We cannot do LPV. We're LNAV, VNAV on this, 440. It is a DA. We don't have to add, so let's go ahead and change our mins. We'll go 440 in the NDA mins. That looks good there. I can actually clear PPAWs, but I am going to wait for a second because we said to expect Zadsa momentarily. So that's ready to go. Our new minimums are in the box. We're 440. We're IMC. No need for engine. Anti-ice. Pumps at 2000. We'll be looking for a brick in the stick. Final approach course is 187, 26 field elevation, sector altitude 2700 feet, and we'll hand fly this approach inside of Cobox. Any questions? No questions. All right, we're leveling 3. We're 200 knots. Let's come back to 180 knots. And real quick, what's our glide path on that one? Our glide path is 3 degrees. And it's starting to rain now too. Go figure. There was a few years there in Tampa where there was a ton of go-arounds while I was on up. Oh yeah, and Tampa is one of those where you get a lot of go-arounds for that exact reason. That glide simple above. Let's go flaps 2. We've entered the rain now. This is interesting. This is not planned, but just typical Florida weather, I guess. If you're the FO the first time you meet with the captain, just say, "Hello, Captain. My name your first officer," and he will thanks, and usually will say, "I'm." What are you talking? Oh, he must be talking to someone else. Or are you talking AA round? McShiggity, welcome back, man. When you do all this work, would it be in the sim or random flights? No, it's going to be in the sim. This is a real world event set. So everything we're doing today is real world. And even this crosswind, I hope this crosswind will stay. Cactus Sweep or Spearwing 337 direct to Zadsa. You're clear for the RNAV 19er left Zulu. Cleared RNAV 19er left Zulu direct Zadsa. Maintain 3 till established. Spearwing 357. So final is blue. AppNav is armed with 3000. Now we're just looking for a brick in the stick. We don't have it yet. But 3 is set, and we're looking good here. An ODU on that side, but that's fine. We're legal. That was a nice little rain cloud we flew through right there. All right, X-Plane, I see you. I see you trying to do some Microsoft. I see you. Yeah, McShiggity, welcome. This has been kind of a fire hose one. This is one of those streams where it's not really an entertainment stream. I mean, I guess it could be. But this is really, for me, I'm trying to just hit certain things that I need to do, need to refresh myself on. I'm really, really, really glad we went through that FMGC reset earlier. That was really cool to reset that. Totally unexpected, too. But yeah, we're trying to nail everything out here. This one, we're going to do a super low go around to a 100% visual left traffic, all right? So you can expect a go around. I'm going to try to do it so low to the fact where we actually balk the landing and touchdown. During the check ride, will someone act? Yeah, ATC 100%. Yep, the check airman will, Jeremy. If your employer replaces the Sims, I want an old one. So does everybody else. Unless you got a cool, like, 100 grand to spend. Alright, we're 180, we're flaps 2. We reactivate the approach phase? We did. Our new VAP is 131. Wind 090 at 9. We could go ahead and get another wind check here. Let's just go AOC. Weather ATIS. Let's get a new METAR. Zero 90 at 8, gust 18. That's the one I want to pull out. METAR Tampa right here. We're just going to print them all out. How many times do they keep printing? Oh, let me find out, Chikari. I'll see if anybody answered my text here. Hold on. Okay, so it's in that book. Well, now I'm going to look. AOM 22240. Hold on. So I'm going to go back. You have control real quick. I'm looking this up. I want to make sure we did that right. Oh, good. Now my iPad's going to crash. What? Ooh, 2240. Aha, glide slope from above. Let's make sure we did that right. Blah, blah, blah. When tracking inbound and established above the glide slope, flight crew must react without delay to meet stabilization criteria in order to get the best rate of descent, yada, yada, yada. At least config 2 should be selected, so I could have stayed at flaps 2 there. When cleared for the approach, arm the approach push button, set FCU altitude above current, we did. Prevent the unwanted alt star, which we prevented. Select vertical speed, 1500 initially. Okay, so I should have done initially. I went straight to 2000. That straight to 2000, that is a Tampa technique because that one, you are a little bit high there. You got to really dial it in quick. So I went straight to 2000, but this actually says 1500 initially. When reaching VFE, the element reuses VFE, alt star, okay. So it's been changed yet again. That's a new change. So we actually didn't even, it doesn't say anything about the gear on that one. That doesn't say anything about the gear on that one. So I'm glad we found it and looked it up. So it should have been flap 2, 180, or flap 2, 160, at an initial vertical speed of 1,500 feet. Yeah, it's just a runaway printer now. Alright, fuel 6.7, we're 3,000. Where is our brick and our stick? We don't see it yet. Alright, well there's our, here comes our vertical deviation. Oh, I think in X-plane we have to set 2,000, I think. Nope, it got it. Just like it would in real life. Okay, so we were just missing, why are we missing our vertical deviation? Is that a setting? This is interesting. I don't know where, oh, maybe it's, oh, is this the old school where it's got to be inside of Pomps? This could be old school software here. Inside of Pomps, we might get our vertical deviation, but we've already started our descent now. Go around altitude is up to 2,800 direct soup pool. So we'll set 2,800 here in the go around. Can the iPad be MEL'd? Not MEL. It's you can dispatch with a single iPad as long as you have paper charts. All right, so we're in final lap. We're looking good. 2,800 is set. Now we'll just our standard stabilization. So 2,000 feet above, we'll manage speed, gear down, and go from there. Things are looking good. Crosswind, direct crosswind, 16 knots from the left. Okay, there's our last METAR printed out. We got it. I guess I could pop these out so you can see them a little better. There we go. I want to make sure we get a vertical deviation here after Pomp C. And what else do we have to remember on a RNAV approach? We got to make sure we shut our flight directors off
2,500.
after we come out of the bottom of the straw, right, our approach path. So we could take it down. Oh, look at a little Virgo rain here. Nice. All right. Still wondering why we don't have a VDEV. There's Pomps. Check right corner is incorrect. We should definitely have a VDEV here. We don't. See, it's even flashing. VDEV, VDEV. We don't have it. That's alright, we'll just fly the donut then. We'll pass 2,000. Let's go gear down. Manage speed. Should have done that first. Oh boy, 400 feet to be stable. Can we do it? Ace, this is the COSP sound pack. Highly recommend. It's a beautiful sound pack. That's full. Look at that, 319. Even, we've got stable here. We're 100 feet to go. Trending down.
1,000.
1,000 feet stable, clear to land. We're VAP plus 20, trending down. All right, so I'm going to go first officer's flight director off. I'm going to turn my flight director off. Autopilot's off. Bird is on. I have control. Now we're visual. So that was kind of a, that's really not what the RNAV would have looked like, but that's all right. It could have something to do with the FMGC. You're right, Chaos. It very likely could.
500. 400.
Wow, I
Minimum.
forgot that we can actually follow glide slopes or the Pappies here. Let's get back on our Pappy.
300.
All right, so we'll touch down and we'll go around. We'll bulk landing this one here. Be a practice landing. 12 knot direct crosswind.
200.
There's our 2 whites, 2 reds.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. 10. 5.
Oh, that was good. Go around flaps. And Toga SRS, go around track. Positive rate, gear up. That was beautiful. Beautiful. Speed wing 357, common maintain 2,500. Maintain 2,500, speed wing 357. Mantoga open climb, go around track. Going 357, maintain present heading. Or maintain heading 187-ish runway heading, that's fine. Speed out star, flaps 1. Speed checks, flaps 1. Leveling 2,500. The sound on that go around. I wonder if HKK is still here. If he's not here, that was the most realistic go around audio set I've heard in a 319 in a long time. The engine spool up and the blaring master cautions are 100% realistic. It's very loud, and it's kind of a wide-eyed or like a what do they call that? Like a moment where you can almost freeze because you're supposed to ignore those cautions because the airplane is freaking out because you're going around, you're adding takeoff thrust, you're not in configuration. We're going to turn all the automation off right now. We're just going to make left traffic.
2,500.
We'll leave flaps up with 200 knots. We're going to make left traffic now. Do a visual approach. But that was a 100% realistic go around. That was really cool. That was really cool. That sound was 10 for 10. Because that's what it's like in the sim. The things are blaring at you. The engines are spooling up. Now in the sim, it's a 320 sim, so it's not even that loud. But I've gone around in a 319, and I've gone around low level in a 319. We actually did balk it, and it is loud. Because you're going right to Toga. You're in a 319. The alarms are going off. You got to remember that number one cue, though. That's how you save your pilot flying, is that number one cue is positive rate. Without that positive rate, the gear don't come up. If the gear don't come up, the flaps don't come up. And then the flaps don't come up, then you're going to overspeed, and it gets wild. So in any go-around in an Airbus, the crucial call is positive rate. That sets in motion everything else. Because when you're positive rate, it's just a normal takeoff, right? Positive rate, gear up. Let's go. There's flaps 1, speed checks, flaps 1. Clean her up and get out of there. If you don't say positive rate, all hell breaks loose. All right, now we're going to do a straight up visual approach for 2,500. I'm actually going to reactivate the approach phase. 131. I'm going to do an auto thrust off. I must not have it bound. Can it bind that auto thrust disconnect? All right. I can't click it. We'll do it the incorrect way. All right, auto thrust is off. Clearly auto flight, auto thrust caution.
2,500.
We're managed for 2,500. We're going to do a visual approach 19er left. Let's speed up a little bit. I know we're a little bit off altitude, but I'm going to go here at Tampa. I'm going to go arrival. I'm going to go just straight 19er left runway. Runway 19er left. No star. Insert that. Nope, that didn't work. Runway 19er left. No star. Insert. Oh well, it's still, I guess it's still, I just wanted a centerline fix. Oh, there it is. I'll take it off the centerline fix. Oh, I didn't want to do a direct insert to that. This is a simism here. I'll get it right. Oh, now I screwed it up. Should auto-populate for me. $186. Oh, no. 3006. Finally. All right, now we got a centerline fix for Tampa 19er left. Let's do a complete visual approach. 2,500 set for the go-around. We're in a little bit tight here. Let's clear that caution. Let's auto flight, auto thrust caution. And we'll put the range down to 10. 366 would be challenging. Only
2,500.
Only Chuck Norris can fly heading 366. We're going gear down early. Make this a short approach here. VFE next. -10, flaps 1.
2000.
Oh, we're gonna be. Gosh, the 319 she drops like a rock. I love the 319. VFE next minus 10 flaps 2. VFE next minus 10 flaps 3. Where's my runway? Over there. A little bit of turbulence. I can feel it. It does something weird. The new turbulence, I swear there's new turbulence. It does something weird to the airplane. Whoa. Easy there. Alright, flaps full. Can't arm you. Landing checklist, full stop here. Let's make her a butter. That other one was perfect. Nice crossing from the left. We had a nice decrab. Let's see if we can repeat that. Alright, pop these out.
$1,000.
1,000 feet, stable, clear to land. Man, I need to start looking into some scenery, huh? Flies so nice.
100 above. 500.
A little bit high correcting.
400. Minimum. 300. 200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, retard, 10, 5.
Oh, yes. Damn, the toliss flies good, y'all. Spoilers, reverse green, manual braking, decel. The toliss flies freaking nice. It's so damn good. I love this airplane. It's hard on the brakes here. Let's smoke them. We're gonna smoke them right now into the reversers past 70 knots. That would be a little bit of a debriefer. All right, let's clear here to the right. I kind of want to take it to the gate just to see what our brakes will do. We'll clean it up after landing flow. We just made a 180 on the exit there. All right, we'll go back this way. Rip. Toliss for Phoenix. Toliss for landing for sure. There's no doubt about it, man. Handling is kind of hard to say, oh, what's better, Phoenix or Toliss in handling? Because handling in flight, normal flight, flying around with the side stick, I think they're both very comparable. Like you're commanding a G load and a roll rate, right? It's very, very similar on both sims. But landing and that crosswind landing there, towards the end of this week, we're going to do a max. We're going to have to do a max crosswind demonstration. I'm going to have to try to. We'll load into St. Martin just like we did in Microsoft, and we're going to have to just crank it up to like 38 knots, 43 knots, because that felt so good. I was like, oh, are we going to float? We're going to float? Nope. It's just get the right of flare in there, and she just settles down 5. 5. It's like, that should be my alarm clock. 5. But we'll watch the replay here when we get to the gate. We don't have an APU, so we'll have to hit the ground power. We're not going to go all the way to the spiritual wing gates. We'll turn the light off here. We'll take this gate right here. Get out the way, mate. This is good. CHECKRIDE, slam on the brakes. Then you also have IE 321, 321 Neo. I know, Gustavo. I know, man. You're right. I know, Gustavo. There's something to be said about landing the toliss birds. There's something to be said about landing toliss aircraft. It is an experience. I feel like I can be more on centerline too with this airplane. Ooh, we missed the by about half a tire bar. Brakes are set. Let's watch the replay. Oh, old replay music. I didn't mean to do that. That's funny. I didn't mean to do that. Phoenix versus Tola systems-wise, they're pretty comparable, man. Actually, they model some things differently because of the different software. But I'll put it this way. I have yet to do something in the Phoenix that I can't do in the Toliss, and I have yet to do something in the Toliss that I can't do in the Phoenix as far as systems configuration. Now, single engine, hand flying, abnormal flight characteristics, 100% Toliss each and every time. And what I mean by abnormal single engine, anything single engine, X-plane, period. For now. Now, we'll see. I'd be very curious to see what happens when Phoenix gets the IEs in their own engine model. I think that's probably the largest thing holding that Phoenix back right now is the engine model, which they're working on. So I'm super excited. I can't wait to see what they bring with a custom engine model. But let's go replay mode. Please don't crash. I think it just crashed sim. It just crashed the sim. Boop. Yep. How long is your CHECKRIDE going to be, and what will happen if one doesn't pass it? It would be permanent. Yeah, permanent mark on the record for sure, Rahul. It's 6 days of training. Starts with day 1 of ground school, so it's a long one. X-plane. Can I get some X-planes in chat, please? Can I get some X-planes in chat? X-plane crashing? That never happened. X-crash. Why? That never used to happen. The replay tool in X-plane used to be so stable, so phenomenal. But, wow. Yep, close the program. Well, hey, 3 hours later, I think that was moderately successful stream. Guys and gals, I do want to thank you all. We'll just take a moment here. I'll just put you on the, I don't even know what to put up. I don't have anything to put up for you. I don't have any splash screens. We're just looking at a dark screen. How about you look at that? And we're not servicing for less. Why don't we just do that? Why don't we do this screen right here? Why don't we just do that screen? And yeah, we'll wrap it up. But I want to thank you all for watching this one. I know these CHECKRIDE prep streams. I know some of y'all love them. Some of y'all don't like them. And it's hard for me to get 100% invested in the chat because I'm trying to really stay focused with my procedures. I know you can't see me, but I've got my iPad here and I'm like actually going through my books, just like I'm trying to get in the muscle memory, right? So apologize if that's not your thing. I missed your questions. You're like, oh, well, I'm never watching the streamer. He doesn't pay attention to chat anymore. That's not. It's just the nature of the stream. So we'll probably do another one tomorrow. I got to figure out what we're doing. One of these streams, we're going to be back in Microsoft, though, because we're going to simulate kind of like the whole Loft event. But I think tomorrow we're going to start breaking some stuff. I think we're going to start doing some single engine stuff, some V1 cut stuff. We're going to knock the rust off on that. So we're not going to do it at a standard tomorrow. Tomorrow is just refresher. And then, let's see, tomorrow it's going to be Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday is going to be our mock CHECKRIDE. So tomorrow we break stuff. We kind of hit spot, jump around. And then we'll do a stream on Wednesday. And then Thursday, we'll have to be in Microsoft because I need to do the stadium visual into Newark. I've never flown that approach. It's a possible option to get in the sim, stadium visual, so I want to do that. And because it's got to be visual, we're going to do that in Microsoft in the Phoenix. So that is the plan. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'm off. I'm going to go get some lunch. Until the next one, y'all stay safe, stay healthy. I'm V1. David M is like, no Microsoft, but the sun sets. I know. Y'all take care. Stay safe, stay healthy. I'm V1. See you.